Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you a little past midnight on April 1st, of course, which happy Friday to everyone. Um, which this is for a Marathon Studio album review I'm doing for Three Doors Down's next Marathon Studio album, and it's their third album for 17 days that I just got done listening to for this 41 minute album of 12 tracks that it consists of. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this album, 17 Days by Three Doors Down, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now, I think the first song's got some potential. The beginning of this album starts off not too bad, but when you get to tracks 4, 6, 7, 8, 11 and 12, that's where the album starts to have its problems with its consistency. It's relying on the same sound that they're going for, just the melodic rock stuff. And it doesn't sound bad to a degree, but it's just how it executes. Because some of the songs do sound the same, and that's where I have an underlying problem with this album. Not that I hate this album, I just find it to be mediocre. Right Where I Belong is getting a 4.5 out of 5. Didn't hate this song, and Brad Arnold singing in it wasn't so bad. It's Not Me was another solid track, so 4.5 out of 5. Didn't hate that one either. Uh, I'll say this for Right Where I Belong, it is pretty heavy for what it goes for, or hard rock ish, I guess you could say. So I wouldn't say heavy. I said the wrong word. So yeah, I would say hard rockish. Cause it's pretty rockin' track, I guess you could say, for 2.5 minutes. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for Right Where I Belong, and It's Not Me is getting a 4.5 out of 5. Let Me Go is one of the singles to come out for this album, and it's alright. I'll give it a solid rating of a 4.5 out of 5. I think I remember some of the chorus if I heard this song on the radio. I think I probably have heard it on the radio. I'm not 100% sure. But it is a pretty solid track, so 4.5 out of 5. And Brad Arnold singing in it's not so bad. Be Somebody was decent. This is where the album starts to get into its problematic areas in the album with how structurally it's sounding and how it's sounding the same with some of the not the lyrics, but the lyrics are fine. It's just the sound and how the song is playing out structurally. So 4 out of 5 for Be Somebody. I found it to be decent, but not mind-blowingly good or whatever. Landing in London was a pretty nice song. Bob Seger was in this song. He was a featured artist for this song, and I think it's a solid track. It's not my personal favorite, but it's solid for what it went for, so 4.5 out of 5. The Real Life, this is where the album starts to get into its weaker tracks, somewhat. But yeah, The Real Life was, I felt a little bored with this song. I didn't hate it, but it gets to that point in this album where it starts to lose interest in the listener. The listener starts to lose interest in this album, like, okay, these are mediocre tracks. But if you've heard Three Doors Down and you know what to expect from them, then you know they're gonna be a melodic hard rock band, or rock band. So 4 out of 5 for The Real Life. Behind Those Eyes was decent. Give that a 4 out of 5. Wasn't a huge fan of this one. Never Will I Break. Brad Arnold singing in it was not so bad, but it's just the way the song is sounding the same like the last two songs, The Real Life and Behind Those Eyes. It's just there's a pattern that it's trying to follow, and it's not sounding differently. It's sounding the same, which I know this is what they're going for with this album, but it tends to get to its boring points. I'm just saying it just to be brutally honest. So, yeah, 4 out of 5 for Never Will I Break. Father Son, I like the lyrical content. The lyrics are have a deeper meaning to it. It's about someone's uh father, this girl's father that's abusing her, and it's pretty fucked up. But if you really listen carefully to the lyrics, you'll come to appreciate this song and the message it's trying to send to the listener. And you're like, holy shit, this is a pretty fucked up song. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for Father Son. I think it sounds fine structurally, so it's a solid track. And Live for Today was a solid one, 4.5 out of 5. I didn't hate some of the drum work in it, and Brad Arnold singing in it was not so bad. And the final two songs, My World and Here By Me, are getting the weakest ratings of 3.5 out of 5s. I found them to be quite dull, honestly. So I just wasn't impressed with how it was sounding for the last two songs. So yeah, it started off great with this album, or at an okay start, and then it gets to the boring tracks, and that's where I have a problem. It's the album's consistency to entertain the listener just doesn't do very well, to me at least. In my opinion, I think this is a decent album. It's not great, but it has its underlying problems with how the songs are sounding the same. Drum work, guitar work, it's just sounding identical to each other. So, for each song that goes on this album. So, overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think this album, 17 Days, was a decent listen. And overall, I think Three Doors Down 17 Days was a decent album. I guess you could check it out if you want to. It's part of the Three Doors Down discography, and that's why I own it. Just to own it, I guess, because it's part of the Three Doors Down discography. So for a score for me, I'm giving this Three Doors Down album, 17 Days, a 7 out of 10. This was a decent album. It's a little weaker than the Better Life album, in my opinion, but hey, there's going to be hits and misses with some albums, but this one wasn't a complete miss. It just had its missteps with what it was trying to sound like and all that. So, yeah, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Three Doors Down album, 17 Days, if you've heard it. Sorry, I kind of burped for a second because I was eating dinner and all that about an hour ago, and I think it kind of got to me now. But if you did enjoy this album review for 17 Days by Three Doors Down, I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I'll have more reviews coming out most likely tomorrow. I gotta shut this computer down after this video, so this is gonna be the last video I'm doing for the night, and then I'll do more in the morning on April 1st during like 9 or 10 a.m. or something like that. I don't know when I'm gonna be waking up, of course, because I'm doing this video a little past midnight. But I hope you enjoyed this Three Doors Down 17 Days album review. The next Three Doors Down album review is going to be on April 2nd for the self-titled. And then April 3rd will be Time of My Life. And then Us in the Night will be finishing the Three Doors Down Marathon Studio album reviews on April 6th. So definitely tune in for those next three Marathon Studio album reviews in their discography. I hope you enjoyed this Three Doors Down 17 Days album review. Like I said, did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Stay safe, guys. Take care. Have a great Friday morning and Friday night, I guess you could call it, or going into Friday now. And as always, I will see you in my next review.